Hello and welcome to all of our viewers from around the world. We have quite a game in prospect here, just waiting for the players to emerge, and we will be underway. And here we have DYNAMO KYIV against Lyon. I'm Peter Drury, and here with me in the commentary box, I'm glad to report, is Jim Beglin.
Well, thanks for that, Peter. I'm more than ready to get going here.
DYNAMO KYIV are in a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah, it allows for an expansive passing game, and with everyone doing their job properly, it can be difficult to contain.
There's the whistle, and here we go. Lyon are still winless after the first quarter of the season. It is quite incredible.
Well, it is absolutely incredible, and they've tried pretty much everything to rectify the problem, and can't. So I think some of that transfer kitty has got to be spent.
Played out to the right. Where to from here? Now the pass. Timely intervention. Tries to get it forward quickly. Oh, that's a waste. Some astute defending to ensure they got no further. Looks to slip it through. And that's been levered clear. And the weighted pass, well read, he sorted that out. Moroshuk. Tries a through ball. Moroshuk. Out for a throw. Keeps everyone guessing. Passes it through. Cut out in the nick of time. Neither of the teams has yet taken the initiative. Moroshuk. Boyalski. Ball's loose, who's getting there? It's Fakir! He's got away with one there. Save, he got a decent fist on that. And the shot! Good stop, that wasn't easy.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Ditch defending, but shot a goal!
That's great defending to cover for the goalkeeper and just get something in the way.
But it's Mbakani. Mbakani pushes it out wide. Ferry. DYNAMO Kyiv still without an attempt on target. Fekir. He's straight offside.
Oh, it would have been fabulous had the timing matched the pass. Pity.
Cacciaridi. Bakani. Morozhuk comes inside. Rotan with a long pass out wide. Fekir. Traore. Fekir. Looks to clip it forward. Keeper's ball. Fekir. Clips one through. Is it in? What a save! Terrific reactions! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Oh, fists it away. Has a shot! Goal! Lyon! And Lyon are in front. Well, from right in front of goal, there was no way he was going to miss.
I just think it's clever positioning from clever movement, and when all of that is synchronised with the right pass, that's what happens.
Lyon take the lead.
Still a fragile lead, though. They can't afford to sit on this.
Floats one over. Ferry. Fekir. Tete. Tries lifting it over. And he's onside. Fires it. Fekir hits it! Brilliant from Fekir! All too easy. They are in danger of disappearing out of sight. Well, it was a hefty deflection, but he's claiming it. Couple of goals without reply, it's 2-0.
That second goal has such a polarising effect on prospective moods. I mean, one team are under more pressure now to get the next goal, and the other will fancy their chances of turning 2 into 3.
Looks to dink one in. Morozhuk. Morozhuk delivers. Knocks it away. Aimed long and direct. Tete. Traore. Ferry. Plays it out to the wing. it's Ferry. Fekir goes up and up for the header! Oh, terrific run to latch onto it, but the finish is all wrong.
Oh, it was such a clever pass that flummoxed the defence, and it could well be revisited, this.
Tried to play it through.
Oh, that just required a bit more oomph to reach its target.
Floats one over. It's a brilliant interception. Rotan. DYNAMO KYIV are trailing here with the first half almost done. Throw in. Looks to thread it through. I have to say, that was an exemplary tackle. Stops him dead in his tracks. Fekir, the scorer already in the game. Traore. Fekir. Tete. Fekir. Plays a clever pass. And out to safety. Looks to clip it full. Goes for goal! That is wayward. Gonzalez. Moroziuk. Hoists it high. In with a header! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
The keeper really dug out his defence then. A magnificent effort.
That'll be the final action of the first half. What have we learned from the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, chins have dropped, heads are down, and half-time couldn't have come at a better time.
And we're off again.
Look, before they might get too carried away with thoughts of getting back into the game, they can't afford to slip up and concede another. The next goal becomes crucial.
Has a swing at it! Oh, he did the hard part right, but fluffed the finish.
It was such a clever idea to lift it into his path.
Oh, he really wanted that.
Well, Peter, I think it's fairly obvious he's one of the biggest influences out there.
Poorly directed kick from the keeper, he's given it away. Dinks one in. Referee's given a throw. And it's Tete. Swung over into the middle, and he's cut it out.
Yeah, it looks like a change of approach, and it may just freshen things up.
It's Gonzalez. Tries to stroke it through. Umbakani. Gonzalez. Can he finish? That's gone a long way up and away. Moroziuk goes looking. Umbakani hits it! Danger averted for now. Now the pass. Oh, well defended, that had to be done. Rotan. Umbakani. Gonzalez. And he's there to cut it out. Looking to shoot. DYNAMO KYIV have it back and they can go again. He's gone down, but the referee just tells him to get back up again. Forward it goes, and it's Morozjuk.
They must set the right tone now and give them...
Hits one! A great save, real class.
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
Fekir goes looking. He's away! Out wide to the right. Traore. Traore plays it in. Bujalski. Chip through. Oh, good ball. Gets it upfield. Well played, he saw that coming. Bujalski. And it's Gonzalez. Fekir. Well, it's normally around now that the managers think about making changes. Fekir. And the weighted pass. Bujalski. Bujalski. Morozjuk. Really well to intervene and dispel the growing danger. And it's Fekir, played out to the wing. Now here's the through ball. That's a poor kick by the keeper, he's just given it straight back. Plays it out to the flank. Traore looking to get on the end of this. Looking for a corner. Rotan pushes it out wide. Charges in. There's some activity down on the touchline. Seems there's going to be a change. Lobs it in gently. Fekir. Ferry. Tete. Fekir. Can't get the better of his opposite number. Tries lifting it over, and the flag has stayed down. Chance to play it in. Tries to get it forward quickly. Tries to dink it in. Oh, sweet feet from him there. Looks like a good ball through. Morozjuk. Boots it to safety. It's over the line, and it is a corner. And it's hoisted clear. That intervention was very necessary. Rapidly approaching the end. DYNAMO Kyiv been on a terrific scoring streak, but they are now under serious threat of drawing a blank. Aimed long and direct. Bakani. Proving impossible to wrestle off the ball. Played out to the right. Going through. Another change here.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
Chooses to go back. Fekir goes looking. Just 5 minutes left. Fekir. And it's Husiev. Morozhuk. Out to the flank. There's no flag. And the finish! Oh, that probably deserved better.
I have to commend the wing play, but I have to condemn the defending. They've got to stop the cross.
It's a poor kick by the keeper, being intercepted. Bakani. Either side really getting hold of the ball. Bakani tries to head towards goal. Traore. That looks a good ball. Looks to slip it through. Here comes another cross. DYNAMO Kyiv have decided now is the time to make their final change.
Well, his stamina was called into question then, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with his heart and the efforts he put in. He was very willing, though, not quite able.
Forward it goes. Ferry. And the referee brings it to a close. Well, that does not help. Interpret the performance as you will, but the key truth is that they lost. Any reflections on what you've seen, Jim?
DYNAMO Kyiv simply forgot to turn up with an attack, Peter, and that lack of cutting edge could possibly turn into something more serious for them.
And with that, it's time for me to thank Jim Beglin and to wish you a very good evening. Hello and welcome to you all from the Giuseppe Meazza in Milan. And our live game is Inter against Celta Vigo. I'm Peter Drury, and it's my chance to say that it is an absolute delight to have Jim Beglin beside me.
Thanks for the intro, Peter. I've been soaking up the atmosphere and I'm really looking forward to what lies in store.
Inter Milan have chosen to go 4-5-1.
Yeah, essentially this system lends itself to a more cautious approach, but that's not to say they can't turn caution into steady ambition.
So it's down to business here. Perisic. So what now? Rafinha goes up and over. Celta Vigo are still winless after the first quarter of the season. It is quite incredible.
Well, it is absolutely incredible, and they've tried pretty much everything to rectify the problem and can't. So I think some of that transfer kitty has got to be spent.
Tries to stroke it through. Goes for goal! Decent enough try.
A more than decent attempt, Peter. Celta Vigo really should be one up, and they'll be hoping that such a big miss won't be a sign of things to come.
Rafinha. And it's Valero. Played out to the wing. Perisic. Great leap! What a wonderful goal!
And what a great way to start the game, to spark the game. I mean, the captain has basically triggered a contest that should be even livelier than we anticipated. Get your seatbelts on. This could be rather exciting.
And however many surrounded him, that is what he can do.
Well, I think that defence there thought they were in good position and they had him where they wanted, yet somehow he's worked the scoring position when it didn't see him on. It's really crafty business, that.
Inter Milan go ahead, 1 goal to the good. Vas hoists it high. Well played, he saw that coming. Looks to slip it through. That's a good block, but at the expense of a corner. Aspas. He's had a shot! No, poor contact, nothing on the shot.
Well, he did get himself into a good position, something for him to cling to.
Machino. Candreva. Ranocchia. João Cancelo. Valero. Lobs it in gently. It's come through and he's had a quick look inside. It's gone for a throw-in. Played in by in for a header! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Inter Milan have hit the front early, a foothold in the game.
What a good start to the game. I think their play has been fast and inventive, and this is a fine example of early intent. They've begun as they mean to go on, and another goal is on the cards.
Perisic. Some good play on the left-hand side now to profit from it. And it's Valero. Dinks one in. And he's there to cut it out. Pass. Tries a through ball. João Cancelo does well there, alert. Perisic set up one goal so far. Plays it into the channel. Now here's the through ball. Good defending, he knew he had to stop it right there. Candreva. They scored inside the first 10 minutes to give them a 1-0 lead. Candreva. Icardi, who's made his mark on this game. Looks like a good ball through. He's had a go! It's there! A 2-goal cushion, and it's looking safe!
Look, there just wasn't much of a gap to begin with, and to find it, I think it was a fine drive, and I don't think the keeper could have really planned for that. I think he's a bit unlucky in that instance.
His second of the game, and an eye now for the hat-trick. Inter Milan grab a couple of goals without reply. It's 2-0. He certainly caught him there. It's a free kick. He knew what was coming. That's a yellow card. He's had... Can he finish? He can get that clear. Ball's out on the left now. That is terrific skill. Vas. And it's... And Aspas! Great build-up. It all deserved a better ending.
It didn't quite come off on this occasion, but it only needs a gentle tweak.
Perisic. Valero. Now the pass. Icardi, and the ball's come out. Ball's loose, and he's after it. Icardi showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. Sent it wide. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
The movement was good, but the pass lacked authority, a cause of mild frustration.
Looks to thread it through. Ranocchia positions himself well and cuts it out. João Cancelo. And it's Candreva. Candreva coaxed out to the wing. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. Vas. Vas. Played out to the wing. He's made sure that that won't get through. Rafinha. João Miranda. Perisic passes it through. What an adventurous run from a defender. Inter Milan are in control here on the brink of half-time. Vas. Over to the left. With a delicate, towering header! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Candreva. João Cancelo. And it's Vecino. Looking to get within range. The referee's awarded a free kick. Gets it upfield. Now it's Icardi. Icardi, long and high towards the flank. There's the whistle for half-time. What have we learned from the first 45 minutes?
Well, it's looking pretty straightforward, Peter. They've got themselves into a very good position, so why dither from here when they can repeat their first-half success with another show of strength?
Inter Milan in control at half-time, 2-0. And the action is back on the way. No changes at half-time that we're aware of. Roncaglia.
Yeah, that's top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Forward it goes. That intervention was very necessary.
Yeah, it looks like a change of approach, and it may just freshen things up.
Into the channel. Gets it back. Tries lifting it over. And he heaves it forward. Roncaglia plays it forward. Narrow Icardi. Well, they could break here. Candreva. Vecino. Rafinha. Valero. Perisic. Vecino. Looks to slip it through. shapes to shoot! Oh, that was close. Battles to win it back. João Cancelo. 2 goals ahead and looking comfortable. Candreva. He's got away. Played in by Candreva. And he just whacks it away. Plenty of appeals, but the referee is not interested. And it's Aspas. Goes wide. Now here's the through ball. Has he found his man? And the weighted pass. Dinked in. Some astute defending to ensure they got no further. Mauro Icardi. Inter Milan haven't made a substitution yet. Now it's Icardi. Regardless of the outcome, it is good to see someone running at the defence like that. Now it's Aspas. Looks like a good ball through. I think that's offside. Yes, it is.
Look, I know our vantage point is very different, but he looked on.
Keeper's got good distance on that. Candreva. João Cancelo tries to get it forward quickly. Goalkeeper's ball. Thus. Rafinha did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. Ranocchia. Valero. Candreva. Aimed long and direct. Done very well to intervene. Thus. Aspas with the ball through. Now here's the through ball. Thus. Floats one up to meet it! Another chance! Oh, great save, real class.
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
Forward it goes. The assistant referee rightly gives him offside.
His anticipation is good, Peter, but his timing isn't. He read the situation and then went and spoiled it.
Keeper goes long. Iago Aspas. And it's Aspas. Plays it out to the flank. Goes for the header! He's got away with one there.
Well, I think the opposition was pretty sloppy in creating a problem for themselves then, but he was onto it so quickly and very nearly made them pay.
for a throw. Celta Vigo look as though they're about to make a change.
Yeah, it's about time I think we saw some activity from the bench, but it's debatable as to what level of impact can be made from here. It's pretty late.
Ahead by 2 and just about into the home straight. João Cancelo. Goes looking. Icardi. Tries to stroke it through. Good challenge, he just stood firm.
And it's Aspas. Vaz.
Spreads it wide. Now here's the through ball. That's the throw. Celta Vigo making consecutive changes here.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
Candreva plays it forward. Just brushed off the ball there. Now it's Aspas. Rafinha. Valero. Candreva. Valero. Rafinha. Vecino. Candreva. Valero. Aspas. Lobs it in gently. Ball driven towards the far post. There are a few waiting for it. Oh, well defended, that had to be done. Played towards the front men. And that's that. Inter Milan emerge victorious here, and it's no more than they deserve. They were simply the better team. Well, after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
Inter showed us why it's so important to seize the initiative. Once in front, they grew in belief and rarely looked at risk.
My thanks to Jim. We both wish you a very good evening. Of all the grand stadia in world football, none more impressive than this. A very warm welcome to all of you from the San Siro in Milan. And here we have AC Milan against Sevilla. Well, I'm Peter Drury, and I'm joined in the commentary box by the familiar figure of Jim Begley.
Hi Peter, it's great to be here.
Milan shape up in a 4-5-1.
Well, it's a system that requires the right balance from the five in midfield and supporting the attack and obviously protecting the back four.
Got things underway. Montalivo, Bonaventura, Bonucci, Musacchio, hit long and direct, and he's made certain that won't get through. Jesus Navas, LYON, and Sonzi. LYON. Now he's wondering who wants it. Luis Muriel crosses it in low. Musacchio, Suso, Chelhanoglu, Montalivo. Back to the keeper and try something new. Musacchio tries a pass forward. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Jesus Navas. Nzonzi. LYON. Nzonzi. Jesus Navas. And it's LYON. Tries a through ball. He's gone for it! Saved only by poor finishing.
Luis Muriel will probably beat himself up after that as the sole culprit.
Good challenge, he just stood firm.
Kais. Pablo Sarabia.
Kjaer. Ganso. Milan are pressing with energy in the opening moments of the game. It's come loose. Suso. Forward it goes. Ricardo Rodriguez tries lifting it over. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Yeah, the idea was right, the delivery wasn't. They can revisit that further on.
Ganso. Ganso. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Bonaventura. Milan, so far, providing no real test at all for the goalkeeper. Loose ball, who's going to get there? Trying to get there, played into the middle, cut out in the nick of time. Luis Muriel, a real chance to break. Battles to win it back. Some good work on the right flank. Now, what's next? Aimed long and direct. Ganso. Well, the ball's come loose and the chase is on. Billia. Musacchio. Chipped through. That's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing.
Pablo Sarabia.
Tries to get it forward quickly.
And it's Pablo Sarabia.
Passes it through. And the assistant referee has his flag raised for offside.
I thought he might just get the benefit of any doubt then.
Gets it upfield. Suso. Musacchio. Now the pass. Shade too heavy. Keeper can pick that up.
Pablo Sarabia.
Dinks one in. It's a brilliant interception.
Montalivo.
Billia. Tries to stroke it through. He's made sure that that won't get through. Ganso. He's coming up to the 30-minute mark. Chelhanoglu. Billia.
Montalivo. Bonucci.
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Bonucci.
Billia. Bonaventura. Hoists it high. Cuts it out.
Pablo Sarabia.
Going through.
And it's Pablo Sarabia.
Looks to thread it through. Lobs it in gently. Dinks one in. Last-ditch defense. Muriel hits it! Good stop, that wasn't easy.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
Rodriguez.
Knocks it away. Suso. Bonaventura. Kalinic. Heading towards half-time, and it is still scoreless. Jesus Navas. Muriel. He's making good use of his strength there, just refuses to be out-muscled. I think that's a goal kick. Yes, the referee concurs. Chelhanoglu.
Bonaventura goes looking.
That intervention was very necessary.
Ganso
Tries to get it forward quickly. Luis Muriel going like a man possessed.
keeper goes long.
And it's Suso.
Billia
Spreads it wide. That's the throw. Goalkeeper's ball.
Pablo Sarabia.
Out towards the flank. Luis Muriel. Beautifully done. Luis Muriel crosses. Referee's had a look, and he's blown his whistle for half-time.
So neither team has broken through, but certainly not for the want of trying. It's been an interesting game up to now, but still goalless.
What do you think we're up to after 45 minutes?
Well, they look lost for ideas and lacking in talent, which all contributes to a chronic case of impotence.
Interesting half, just missing goals, so don't be surprised if the second half brings a change to the scoreline at the break, 0-0.
And the game has already resumed here.
Well, the first half didn't really produce the goals we'd have liked. Hopefully they've been saved for the second. For that to be the case, though, we'll need to see more energy and invention early on.
Long and high towards the flank. Oh, well defended, that had to be done.
Aimed long and direct.
On to Levo.
Over to the left. A buccaneering run from the defender.
Sevilla keep the ball, but can't do anything meaningful with it.
Geis. Pablo Sarabia.
Ganso
Pablo Sarabia.
plays it long. And the ball is out of play. Kalinic.
And the whistler's gone for a reckless challenge there.
And he is going into that little black book. It's a long ball, but it's not hit its target. Ganso. And it's LYON. Deftly done. Shot a goal! And that really should have hit the net.
Do I really need to tell you, Peter, that he has to do better, especially from there?
Kjaer. Well, into the second half, and it's still goalless. Ganso.
Geis. LYON.
Ganso.
LYON. Ganso spreads it towards the left.
Suso. All the way back, and they start again. Musacchio. Spreads it wide. Kalinic looking to get on the end of this. Timely intervention. Turns and goes back. Çalhanoğlu. Luis Muriel. It is still anyone's game, 0-0. Ball's out on the left now.
Geis.
Milan haven't made a substitution yet. Jesus Navas. Ganso.
Bonaventura.
Did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. was good pressing, forced the error to put an end to it before things could get even more threatening. Muriel.
Pablo Sarabia.
Luis Muriel. Ganso. Ganso!
Well, once he went with the shimmy, it looked like a gimme. How frustrating.
Montalivo
Gets it back. Billia. Forward it goes. Well positioned to make that interception. Tries to get it forward quickly. And it's Muriel. Luis Muriel passes it through. It's come through and he's had a quick look inside. Good run, ultimately thwarted by an astute piece of defending. Crowd appreciates good football all round there.
just brushed off the ball there.
Çalhanoğlu lobs it in gently, neatly. Can he put it away? Glorious from Kalinic! And that could well be the winner.
The understanding between those two plays a big part in that, and releasing the run on side proved the key ingredient.
Sevilla look as though they're about to make a change. Milan get themselves into the lead.
Look, experienced voices need to be heard now, along with good purpose and urgency, and they can get right back into this.
And it's LYON. He's got away. Oh, that is lovely footwork. Up to meet it!
Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
Forward it goes. Now it's Suso. Steered out wide. Suso aimed in towards the centre. And he's there to cut
This
it out.
is good ball retention, and it should be enough from here, but they want to double their advantage.
Ricardo Rodriguez. Çalhanoğlu. Kja. Aimed low and direct. Milan are clinging on for the points here, right at the end.
Peter, they have to fight the onset of desperation and keep enough cool heads to still deliver.
Billia with a long
There's a
pass.
real appetite from them to finally put this game to bed, but will they?
Couple of changes then in quick succession.
Well, his stamina was called into question then, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with his heart and the efforts he put in. He was very willing, though, not quite able.
Looks like a good ball through.
Sevilla are actually displaying tremendous fighting spirit. There's a real belief that they can still have a say.
Looks to bypass the midfield.
Great strength, too strong for his opponent.
And now they can launch a counter.
Sevilla have a simple task to find something sustained now and keep the pressure on.
Played out to the wing. Suso
Delivers across.
shoots!
Milan certainly don't need to overcommit now. Their priority lies further back.
And it's Vasquez. Almost there, and the players can feel it. Sevilla
Desperately need a goal, and this could well be their last chance. Done very well to intervene.
Montalivo.
The final whistle. Terrific contest. It really might have tipped either way. The margins were tiny, just a goal in it, but that was enough.
Well, this game looked to have 0-0 written all over it, but credit to them, they upped their game in the end, and I thought they got what they deserved.
My thanks to Jim. We both wish you a very good evening. So a warm welcome to you all. We will be on the way very shortly once all the pleasantries are complete. And our live game is Atletico Mineiro
against Zenit St. Petersburg.
I'm Peter Drury, and providing analysis and expert opinion alongside me will be Jim Beckley.
Hello, Peter, and hello to everyone watching. For me, it's a real thrill to be here.
Atletico Mineiro have elected to go 4-5-1.
Yeah, this is a setup that offers easier flexibility whether you want to attack and or defend.
And that gets things running. Plays it out to the wing. Oh, good interception. Paredes. Played out to the right. So what now? Looks to in with a header! Oh, not the best of headers. And it's Corcoran. Paredes. And the defence can get it clear. Elias. Corcoran. Ivanovic. Crescito. Did really well to intervene and dispel the growing danger. That is terrific skill. Out to the left it goes. Great tackle, he had to get that right. Elias. Atletico Mineiro putting their opponents under a lot of pressure in the early stages. Threw himself at it, but he's got it cleanly. Chirkov. Paredes. Atletico Mineiro yet to have a shot on target. Corcoran with a long pass out wide. He's made sure that that won't get through. Paredes. Well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Whistle's gone, that's a foul. The weighted pass has ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. Now the pass. Now here's the through ball. It will be a throw-in. Tries a through ball. Too much on it, and that's the keeper's. Chirkov. Looks to clip it forward. Shade too heavy. Keeper can pick that up. Danikov. Paredes. Chirkov. Crescito. Just brushed off the ball there. Plays a clever pass. Into some space. Shoots! Worth a try. Shame about the outcome.
Oliveira certainly showed brilliant imagination there to take on such a high tower of skill.
And it's Crescito. Cochrane. Oliveira. Elias. Ball has crossed the line, and it's a throw. For a moment you felt that was going somewhere, but they'll have to go again. Hit long and direct. It's out for a goal kick. Paredes looks to thread it through. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. Still waiting for the first goal. Aimed long and direct. Forward it goes. Sees it from behind. Turns and goes back. And the finish! There it is! And Atletico Mineiro score first. Time and space aplenty, he was never going to miss.
I just think it's clever positioning from clever movement, and when all of that is synchronised with the right pass, that's what happens.
Atletico Mineiro take the lead, 1-0.
Well, just listen to the reaction. I think you can hear the approval from the support all around the stadium.
Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Cochrane. Zenit St. Petersburg to retain the ball, but are seemingly in no rush to break forward. And that's well defended.
Oliver.
Now the pass. Could try cutting inside here. Looking for a decent ball in. Passes it through. There are a few waiting for it. And the referee brings the first half to a close. So there you have it, a close-fought half of football, but one that still had its moments, but ultimately produced just one goal. A more than decent game up to now.
Well, that certainly pleased the fans, and the players are definitely happy with that scoreline. The question is now, can they protect it?
Atletico Mineiro leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break. And we're already back underway here.
Well, 1-0 may be good enough, so they may err on the side of caution and get more players behind the ball instead of running beyond it. They could even try to spoil it from here, we'll see.
Over to the left. Now here's the through ball. The shot's on! He's done very well to get to that.
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
It so nearly came off for him.
Well, Peter, I think it's fairly obvious he's one of the biggest influences out there.
Anyukov. Plays it into the channel. On behind for a goal kick. Elias. Oliver. Tries to dink it in. And the shot! Cochrane. Oh, they've seen lots of the ball. Time to go for it a bit of creativity and adventure. Paredes. Chirkov. That'll be a throw-in. Looks to slip it through, and help's available out wide. Floats one over. Massive leap! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Looks like a good ball through. He's got options out wide. Anyukov gets it back. Chirkov. Atletico Mineiro just about have their noses in front. It is the slenderest of leads. Atletico Mineiro scoring close to half-time to make it 1-0. Anyukov. Quarter of an hour into the second half. Your impressions so far, Jim?
Well, it's a natural instinct to defend when ahead, but it's too early for them to settle into that practice just now. But this is exactly the approach they have to take now, Peter.
Jim, there's not too much subtlety or sophistication about this. It really is a question of needs must.
Just has to be done.
He's got the ball glued to his feet. Crosses into the air. Heads it! He's done well to get his head on that, but couldn't score.
I have to commend the wing play, but I have to condemn the defending. They've got to stop the cross.
Oh, he really wanted that.
Yeah, and you can hear how the crowd are reacting to this too.
Chirkov. He's lifting it over. Fine defending there. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Peter, his body shape was a giveaway before he made the pass, and its obviousness was appreciated.
Paredes.
And it's Corcoran. Played out to the wing. Now here's the through ball. Good clearance and very necessary. He's gone for it! Good stop, that wasn't easy.
The keeper really dug out his defence then, a magnificent effort.
Away from immediate danger.
Atletico Mineiro haven't made a substitution yet.
Breaks on here. Out wide to the right. Gets into some space. He's got away. Gorgeous control there. It's a brilliant interception.
Danyakov. Just a quarter of an hour to play.
Battles to win it back. Tries a through ball. Lobs it in gently. Oh, glorious footwork! Can he finish? That really should have hit the net.
Oh, no, that was a chance. What a chance.
There's some activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
Anyukov tries to stroke it through. Now the cross. Up to meet it! And that could come back to haunt them.
Yeah, he was just a little too eager to get his chance away there, and it could have level matters.
Now it's Corcoran. Long and high towards the flank. Hoists it high, and the flag has stayed down. Clears it out of harm's way. Final checks on the touchline. A change about to occur.
Well, his stamina was called into question then, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with his heart and the efforts he put in. He was very willing, though, not quite able. Zenit St. Petersburg are actually displaying tremendous fighting spirit. There's a real belief that they could still have a set.
Has a hit! Should have equalised.
Well, the lead may be fragile, but the keeper was focused and strong.
To the last 5 minutes. Almost there, and the players can feel it. Good work on the right flank. Now, what's next?
Anyukov looking to get on the end of this. And it's Paredes.
Pumps it into the air, hits it first time! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Zenit St. Petersburg making consecutive changes here.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just a little jaded, and as a result of that, he was most likely to make a mistake. I think sometimes when the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it, and I think that's happened in this case.
Trying to get there.
Elias.
Referee looks at his watch and blows his whistle. Terrific contest. It really might have tipped either way. The margins were tiny, just a goal in it, but that was enough.
Yeah, clean sheets and hard grind will help you go places, and they have a resolve that'll envy many.
My thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you.